So we're going to be looking at these today on digital stereo guitar. These are the solderless cables by Free the Tone. This is the SL8L nickel cables. We're going to be just looking at what they come with inside the box and how to actually make one of these solderless cables. These are fantastic, fantastic cables. So get yourself your box. This particular one has 10 pieces as well as 3 meters worth of cable. So what I mean by a 10 piece is I get myself 10 of these. This is the actual, the head. This is the L, which means that it's a L shaped. All right, it's just literally just unscrewed on the side here. You then get yourself your cables, which come like this, and then you solder them in. So inside, you really get yourself just a whole length of cable, plenty to be able to make yourself a lot of different lengths cables. And then you've got a little bit of an instruction there on how to actually create these cables themselves. But the great thing about these cables is that, as the name suggests, they are completely solderless. So you've got yourself a standard lead like this with the head. Once it's built, it looks like something like that. And the great thing about these is you can actually cut them to size to fit on your pedal board. So if I need to run a cable from one pedal to another, from here to here, from here to here, I don't have to go and buy, cables that are already made and hoping that they fit well and then sort of making them look unneat within my pedal board. The great thing is I can actually cut them to size. I can grab my lead, I can sort of have a look and measure, all right, that's how long I need it to go, cut it. With a set of these, you can just literally cut them to size. You are making these cables, but you are cutting them so that they are flush as much as possible, because if you don't do that, you can actually have some problems making sure that those cables work correctly. So with 2 individual heads, so we want to now make ourselves a cable. We get ourselves a Phillips head screwdriver. Now I recommend that you do this completely manual. Do not go and get yourself an automatic drill, because you can actually round these, the holes, the actual screw head, you can make them rounded very, very easily. So be very patient, very careful, and literally just unscrew the screw from the top, and then this little head just pops off. All right, you'll see that the cable is now going to be inserted into here. We've then got the head that goes back on, and then we screw it back into place. Put the cable inside the hole. All right, and you'll feel that it sort of does go into place. Okay, we just want to sort of push a little bit just to make sure that it makes contact inside of that cable. And then you'll see that there's the groove here. So I'm going to push and then bend it down towards the groove, like so. I then get the other head, and you'll see that there's the groove inside, and you literally just pop it into place. Okay, so that is now essentially in place. And then really the next step is then to just grab the screw, pop it inside the hole, and then screw it. Now the other thing is to make sure when you are reaching the end that you tighten it enough that it's just tight, like so, but do not tighten any further. All right, I have found that in making a number of these over my time, I have broken some or made a number of them short circuit, because what actually happens is when you are screwing in the screw itself, it actually pierces the cable, right, to actually make contact with the inside of the cable. And I found that sometimes if you do it too far down, it can pierce it too far, and there can be some sort of short circuit. So just making sure that you do it just enough so that it goes through to the other end. All right, so now I've got the other end of the cable, and I essentially do the same thing with this one. Unscrew it, and then let's put it on. So that cable is now made. So the next thing we want to do is we want to test this cable and make sure that it works. Now, what I recommend is before you go and cable your entire pedal board and then find out that it doesn't work because you've put one of these in incorrectly, is to just grab a couple of pedals. In my case, I've got one that is true bypass, both of them, and I can just run one into my amp, and one into my guitar, and then just run the cable between the two. Strum my guitar and see if it works. Wiggle the cable around, see if you have any crackles, if there's anything that cuts out, and then you can essentially ensure that the cable is set up correctly so that then you can then go and power it in your power board. The cable nicely in place. Making sure that there's no interference, no crackling, and it all looks good. And that is how you make one of those free the tone solderless cables. Great cables, recommend them. Like this video as well. See you next time.